Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. I'm wondering if this is going to turn into a weekly thing. I'm not sure yet. It's been a little busy in the mornings. Anyway, I'm not going to record much today. I actually recorded something last week that I wanted to share. So I'm going to let that play. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Good morning. This is the Big JB. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. It is raining. I hope you can hear that. It is raining, and it's supposed to be a high of 56 degrees today. It was 50 when I woke up this morning. I checked the weather and said high of 56. That's pretty cold. So I am getting ready for my train, which is going to be here in 15 minutes, roughly. So I had some time to record this morning. I am heading into the office a little bit late. I had some stuff I had to take care of this morning, so I arranged to go into the office a bit later than usual. I have been, lately, what have I been doing? Lately, I have been watching Sherlock, the series from the BBC, Auntie Beeb, as they sometimes call it. And I'm loving it, and as most people do. Season 1 I had seen. It was great to rewatch it. Season 2 I've watched almost all of them. On the last episode, I've watched maybe half of it, I think. I still have a ways to go, and it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. Very well written, and I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how it concludes. Sorry, I sort of got lost in thought there. I had a great conversation with my wife last night about the whole memory thing, and she made a good point, is that I'm harder on myself than I need to be, which is a pretty common piece of feedback that I've been given by people, is that I'm really hard on myself, too hard on myself. And so that's interesting, because I know that we're all hard on ourselves. But she said that she felt like I was harder on myself than, like, I asked her, I said, do you think I'm harder on myself than you are on yourself? She said yes, which is interesting, and it has me thinking today. Couple other things. My head is full, apparently, of good things. I've been listening to a book. It's the most recent World of Warcraft book called Vol'Jin. It's about the troll leader, Vol'Jin, and it's set in Pandaria. And it's a great book. It's a very good read. It's written by Michael Stackpole, who wrote some of the Star Wars books that have become so popular. He's one of the more popular authors, according to my coworkers anyway, who love his stuff. And I can see why. If it's written as well as this is, that series would definitely be enjoyable. So I will probably pick that up eventually, at least the audiobooks. But I'm really enjoying this audiobook. Narrated by Scott Brick, I think I mentioned before, voice actor extraordinaire. And something that is happening in the book made me think of kind of this spot that I'm in my life. There's a story early on, not a story, but it's sort of a philosophical discussion that is started at the beginning of the book between one of the Pandaren and another, and he's talking about what he brings out a ship, and he talks about what's the most important part for the ship. And there are a couple people who argue one is the sails, because it's what lets them go, makes them move. Somebody else said that it's the anchor, for without it, it can't be held steady. And yet another person said that it was the sea, for without the sea, the boat has no purpose. And that, I felt that was very, very interesting. So I've really been thinking about that. And as I've been listening, just analyzing those things in my own life. What is the anchor? What are my sails? And what is the sea? So I don't necessarily have any conclusions, but I've been pondering that a lot. And there's another incident that happens where there are two characters who should basically be enemies, just because they're the two factions that they belong to have long been enemies, but because they're in a monastery with the Pandaren, because they've both been wounded, and while their bodies are knitting, they sort of come to an understanding with each other. And one of them says to the other that the life that they had lived before was gone. They were no longer those same people because of their events, because of how much they were separated, and that those people had died, and they didn't need to recreate themselves, but they needed to create themselves. Which is an interesting parallel, because in the Bible, it says that if any man is in Christ, he is a new creation. And so I've been pondering that quite a bit this morning, and wondering about those old things that I had dealt with. And I think that concept can be true in a lot of ways. I mean, clearly for Christians that carries a lot of significance because of basically the miraculous power of God to change us into a new creation from a life before. But I also think that there are those moments in life that we go through where there is a newness. Something dies and something new comes to be. And sometimes it's not anything quite as drastic as I'm as I'm creating myself in a new way. So the concept of recreating suggests that we're sort of rebuilding who we were. Creating suggests that there is an entire newness to that process. There's something brand new that's being created. And so I think there are times in life where we either suffer something that is traumatic and we have to create ourselves, but so many times I think we go back and we recreate ourselves. And I don't know that we always are happy with the result, and many times regret the things that happen, rather than looking at them as a way of propelling us forward. Perhaps that could be an analogy for the wind, in the boat analogy, with our sails, and we can choose to open the sails and let the wind carry us to a new destination, or we can scrabble trying to force ourselves to go back to the old. So I'm getting all kinds of crazy philosophical on that this morning, obviously, and it's interesting. It just is a thought process that I'm still mulling over, and I will probably still mull over through the rest of the day and probably over the next few days. But it's good. It's a good concept, and it's funny, and I know that I do this a lot, but there are lots of things like that in life, whether it's movies or books, or even stuff out of a video game that will speak to me in that way. And I tend to apply those things. Sorry, we've got lots of cars starting to come up the ramp now, and trucks. Those are the ones that rumble it the most. There's lots of things that I enjoy in life that I end up applying, and I take it and sort of internalize it, and hopefully it makes me a better person. So, anyway, I guess my encouragement for the weekend is to maybe ponder those same things. Ponder if maybe your past is keeping you anchored to the harbor when you need to allow it to be the wind in the sails to propel you onward. And then, of course, the sea represents whatever it is that is your purpose, that makes you the boat. And without it, there is no boat. There's no purpose for the boat. So, deep thoughts today. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope that doesn't wreck anybody else's weekend, but I do hope it leads to some good things. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And I thank you for subscribing, too. Follow me on Twitter at Voice of the Big JB. I'll see everybody on Monday. Bye.